doing, Mr. Henderson? What's going on, Lil Drake? Hi, I'm Marco Brooks. Welcome to the show. Welcome Facebook, welcome Instagram, and welcome YouTube Live. I'm going to give you some time to get adjusted, and then we're going to chat. I'm Marco Brooks. I'm your host, and tonight we are going to chat concerning the coronavirus, COVID-19. As we know, last week we talked about how we were living love, living life, and living for real during the coronavirus pandemic. Like, what were some positive things that you were actually doing to prepare yourself and to get through this pandemic? Because we are all going through the same thing, right? So those are my questions for you. But tonight we're going to discuss. I'm setting the timer. It is exactly 8:08. We're going to set the timer. And we are going to go through this process together. But tonight we're talking about, you all, should America reopen? Should America reopen? I know everyone's overwhelmed and we're tired and we're just, many of us are experiencing cabin fever and everything else. But are we really ready to open back up here in America? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Is America ready to reopen? Alrighty. So I just need you to very quickly, you don't have to stay long with me. Just share your thoughts. You can type it. You can. I'll invite you all. Thank you so much, Demoris, for being here. Tevion, what's going on, sir? Miss Gulick, you all, my third grade teacher is on tonight. Welcome, Miss Gulick. As always, I honor you as one of those that paved the way for me and sowed the seed into my life. Thank you so much. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I would never forget you. She taught me a life lesson a long time ago. And I've been able to carry that. So everyone tonight, thank you so much, Tevion. It's so good to see you on. Stay with me. Don't leave. Don't just drop in. Stay here so that we can chat. I just want to know very quickly from you all, should we reopen? Should America reopen? Tonight we're going to talk about those particular points. Welcome to the show. I'm Marco Brooks, your host. Alrighty. So we're setting the timer so that we can actually, I don't want to hold you up at all. So I appreciate you all stopping by the show. But what I do want to talk about tonight is, should America open back up? You know, there are moments that I literally have felt like, oh my goodness. You know, I am really, really tired of being boggled down. I'm tired of being stuck in the house because I'm a very active person. I'm very active. I'm very much into the gym and, going out and being a socialite and seeing people and touching people, loving on people. And then during this time, it's very difficult for us to be able to do that, right? So tonight, we're just going to talk very briefly. For those that are just making it to the show, thank you so much for popping in. David, thank you so much for watching. Carlos, thank you so much for tuning in. Mike, what's going on, Mike? You all, this is Mike. Next show, I'm going to show you the ring you gave me when I was 12 years old. You all, my cousin Michael's on the line. When I was about 12 years old, he gave me this ring. It's not this one, but it's a ring that I have. You all know I'm into the rings. Like, I got these in Brazil. I think I got this in Brazil. St. Croix, something like that. I got this. I don't remember, Italy, something. But anyway, he gave me a ring when I was 12 years old, and I still have that ring today. It has an M on it. It was a gold ring. So I'm very big on keeping, things that matter to me. I keep up with that, So tonight, this is what we're going to do, you all. We're going to keep this going, and we're going to chat. Technology is getting out of control. It really is at times. Why can I not just press? Okay, we're going to do that. All right, whatever. So I really want to know from you all, from a realistic perspective, do you all think that we really are ready to open up? So Miss Gulick, my third grade teacher, you all, she spoke and she said, hey, we should open up gently following our governor's direction. And because you all know we live in different parts of the world where different people think differently, we see that our leader, our president, is really pushing opening up the country as soon as possible. And, it kind of sets me in a moment of not being at ease because I know for me personally that I have, older family members. We all have elderly family members that may not necessarily be able to function, if they get sick. Like, it's just a horrible thing, and I think it's very selfish to immediately rush into. So you all know, hey, Aunt Kathy, what's going on? You all, actually, my aunt is here tonight. I'm going to see if I can bring her on just to give us some expertise advice. And I'm also going to share with you all tonight some of the data that we've pulled up pertaining to the White House and the CDC and what they say pertaining to opening up the country. So we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But I'm going to see if my Aunt Kathy can come on. She's a RN. If she's available, I'll pull her in. She's a RN, registered nurse. Hey, Instagram world. Hey, Facebook world. And hey, YouTube Live. I'm Walker Brooks. I'm your host. Welcome to Live for Real, a show that does not just challenge you to live for real, but to live, love, live life, and live for real. And every single week, we talk about those moments in our lives that require us to live for real. And in living for real, we choose. We make wise decisions. We make healthy decisions. We make decisions that will benefit us to bring out the best in our lives and not the worst, because we always want to make certain that we are the motivation for our lives and not a distraction. So tonight, with those distractions, we want to chat about, is America ready to open up? Is America ready to open back up? And I personally think we just need to take our time, as usual. I really feel like we should take our time. I really feel like we are in a good place as it pertains to people just being aware, being clean. I'm very big on washing my hands and just making certain that, we sanitize our hands and just be clean toward one another. I will never forget, I was probably want to say college. I was in college, undergrad at that. And what's going on, Instagram world? Thank you all so much for tuning in. Lil Drake said that we need a lot better leadership in our government before we start listening to their direction. Okay, please elaborate on that so that I can kind of know what you mean by that a little more in depth. Alrighty, if you don't mind. So when you all do comment, please elaborate a little more in depth. Alrighty, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to chat once again about it. I agree with you, Marco. We need to go very slowly. So my Aunt Kathy said that she agrees. We need to go very slowly. She's a registered nurse. If you are a health professional or a nurse practitioner or a RN, CPN, LPN, ZN, whatever. If you work in the medical field and or you are employed in some way as a chemist or someone that works in the field of dealing directly with specimens and medicines, etc., then please chime in tonight. Tonight we're talking about, is it too soon for America to reopen up? And if it is, and or not, please give me your reason. Chime in tonight. Welcome, Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Well, actually, thank you so much, Facebook. Thank you, Instagram, for tuning in tonight, and YouTube Live. Tonight, we're chatting about, is it too early for America to reopen? Now, according to the CDC, I'm going to read some data to you all because we want to make certain that we connect to that. It reads as follows, all righty? And it says, President Trump has unveiled guidelines for opening up America. So we've seen this stream across CNN constantly. We've constantly seen it stream across CNN. If you anything like me, you enjoy being informed. I really enjoy being informed, but I do not enjoy being depressed, constantly receiving bad news. What's going on, Danny? Thank you so much for tuning in. You are my second to mid niece is watching tonight. She's a senior. And she's actually, she's a senior in high school. She's graduating, and she's having to experience, having to graduate virtually, So this week on Chalkboard Confessions, my show on Thursday, we will converse, seniors in 8th grade and those that are promoting, even our little babies, little kindergartners who's going to the 1st grade. How are they dealing with having to go through something none of us, for the most part, have ever gone through from this day back? We've never had to deal with graduating online, virtually, so that's really, really a serious situation. So on Thursday, on Chalkboard Confessions, we'll talk directly with the students on my Chalkboard Confessions panel for the educators. And we'll chat on that show to some seniors, some 8th graders, some kindergartners. They even had a little kindergartner. And they're going to chat about their experience of having to be promoted or graduating virtually online. New experience. Alrighty. So anyway, back to tonight's topic. Is it too early for America to reopen? Alrighty. Several of you have already chimed in. I did a poll on Instagram and also here on Facebook. So I'm going to go and pull that data so that we can chat on that. Welcome Instagram, I'm Marco Brooks. Welcome to Live for Real, a show that is not just about living, but living love, living life, and living for real. We converse those real life topics, those issues in life that require us to make our best decisions, to live our best lives, even when we have to live in chaos and, strenuous situations. So, President Trump unveiled guidelines for opening up America again. It's a 3-phase approach, you all. So there are 3 phases to this. According to the whitehouse.gov, you can pull that resource up. You can follow along with me, whitehouse.gov or the CDC. Alrighty? And according to that, there are 3 phases to approach this. Per health experts. Let's follow health experts. Yes, we all have an opinion. We're tired. We're anxious. Cabin fever. We want to get back to the gym, the movies, just being sociable, happy hours, church, all of the above. Traveling. My passport is just screaming. So I am very much ready to travel again. But I'm being patient in this process. Alrighty? So it says, I learned process from B. Arthur from the Golden Girls. Great episode. Well, actually from Dorothy. Zbonak. But her real name is B. Arthur. Alrighty, so the criteria, they've laid out criteria pertaining to how we will be able to open the country up again. And they've labeled things such as symptoms, cases, hospitals. So case by case type situations. So I would only imagine if you have more cases of people who have been diagnosed with the COVID-19 virus, you can identify that. But those that have not been tested, in this case, which are most of us, they're going to have to actually go and test us to find out who has what and then compartmentalize that. And I guess do what they do. So they have either the symptoms, the cases, or the hospital. So those are the 3 areas of criteria that they're setting. And this has to be satisfied before the phase comes back. So before the second phase, these particular criteria has to be met. Now, these are the actual 3. Phase 1 consists of this. So in phase 1, they're basically going to identify all the vulnerable individuals. So all individuals who are vulnerable or susceptible to the actual coronavirus or COVID-19 coronavirus, they're saying that you should continue to shelter in place. Members of your household. So if like you have coronavirus and people in your home are vulnerable residents of it, you should be aware that by returning to work or other environments where distancing is not practical. So if you rush back to work, you rush to the restaurant, you rush back to church, you rush back to these different areas, then what they're saying is that you are vulnerable and susceptible to spreading the disease. So with the virus. So if we all have brought this somewhat of a midway lens, and we all just rush back into these places, then we're only going to create more and more issues. So we should take precautions to isolate, in this case, vulnerable residents. So that is the first phase that they are speaking of, vulnerable residents. And they're saying avoid socializing, as you know, in groups of more than 10 people in circumstances that do not readily allow for appropriate physical distancing. So if you go to church, come on now. We got to touch and agree. You know how we operate within the church. If you go to a basketball game, or what season is this? Is this football? No, it's not football season. Whatever season you're in, you have to operate with wisdom, you all. So let us all work together to make certain that we bring this thing under control. And again, the criteria for phase 1 is that we should make certain that all vulnerable individuals, that means anyone that has been exposed to the COVID-19, according to the CDC and the whitehouse.gov, that you should really make certain that you continue to practice social distancing. When in public, making certain that you are covered. Do not go around 10 or more people. Period, you all. Go out. Even if Trump opens the country back up, I personally feel as though you should avoid going in mass crowds. Minimize non-essential travel. Now, you know that one hit me hard. That one hit home. So it's saying that we should minimize essential travel and adhere to CDC guidelines regarding isolation following travel. So if you're planning that big trip, you're trying to go somewhere, go here, go there, guess what? Don't do it. according to the CDC and the WhiteHouse.gov, you need to pull back and make certain that you wait. All right. If possible, it is saying this: continue to encourage telework. So they're saying, hey, please continue to telework. It's working. Continue to telework. Relax, relate, and release. Remember that episode of A Different World when was it Debbie Allen co-starred with Jasmine Guy, as she was a therapist, and she trained Jasmine Guy, but the character Whitley Gilbert, to relax, relate, and release. Relax, relate, release. When I was a teenager, I worked at my very first job, and I had a lot of jobs you are as a teenager. But one of my very first jobs, I worked at McDonald's in South Carolina. And one of my, she's like our mother, Mother Dolores. We call her Mother Lois. And she had a saying. She would say, she would always, as I was saying before, she would always say to us, make certain, that you keep it moving. Keep it moving, Bookie. Don't take on more you can. But I just thought about that when I saw that. So when you return to work, go back to working phases. Just like Debbie Allen, Mother Lois used to say, relax, relate, release. Relax, relate, release. And she used to always say that to us. So you are relax, relate, and release. Now release positive energy. Alrighty? I don't go to the grocery store and do all this out and about and doing all that. I try to order groceries from home, and I'm pretty prepared because I do stock up. But when I feel anxiety, that I feel cabin fever, I'll go to my car. I'll drive around. I mask up. I cover my hands with gloves, if I'm out and about. But I just drive around. And I really, really enjoy the scenery. And I sightsee and I enjoy the beautiful parts of Washington, D.C. that I normally wouldn't be able to see. You understand what I'm saying? So find a spot somewhere in your area where you live. Don't necessarily get out and go congregate with people under a tree. Like, I'm still seeing people walking about in D.C., just walking up, talking to one another. It's not about you having this immortal ability to stand against the virus. It's just saying, when you are in public, just cover yourself. If it's airborne, you don't even know what's going on. So just cover yourself. Alrighty. So according to the CDC, phase 1, they're making certain that individuals who are vulnerable to the actual virus, that you are paid attention to first. So that's phase 1 on opening up America again. So according to the CDC and WhiteHouse.gov, that's phase 1. If you're just tuning in, hi, I'm Marco Brooks. Welcome to Live for Real. As always, this is a show where we don't just talk about living, but what do we do? I can't hear you. We what? Who can say it faster? And whoever says it correct, you'll get a Uber Eats on me. 15 and under. But when one person, one time I did this and I had to buy a couple of people, so I'm just going to do one person. Give me my saying. We don't just live for real, but we do what? I'm listening. All right, I'm not even going to give it to you yet. As I see it pop up, I'll let you know. Alrighty, so with that being said, we want to make certain, you all, that we take advice, we listen, we adhere to the law of the land. Even if we don't necessarily agree with our leaders, we have to respect what they're saying. Now, does that mean that you have to immediately jump out? What's going on, Andy? Thank you so much for tuning in. Instagram, welcome to the show. We're talking tonight about, is it too early to open up America? Is it too soon to open up America again? So tonight we're talking about opening up America again. We've already conversed phase 1. Phase 1 says that in the midst of them opening up America again, they're going to go through 3 phases. Phase 1 is to identify all the vulnerable individuals who have actually been exposed. In this case, we broke down the criteria. When you're actually vulnerable to it, you have vulnerable individuals, people who live in the house with you. Rhonda, you got the first part. No. Live, love, live life, and live for real. Everybody say it with me. Live, love, live life, and live for real. And then put it all together. Live, love, live life, and live for real. All right, now we have to do our challenge. The live, love, live life, and live for real challenge. Alrighty. So again, vulnerable individuals. If you live in the home with someone who has been exposed to the coronavirus, COVID-19, or you have, then that's phase 1. They're still encouraging you to, when in public, avoid being in crowds of 10 or more. Make certain that you wear a mask, cover your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. avoid socializing, and minimize non-essential travel. So in the event that they open things up again, don't just jump on a plane and book a flight just because you see that it's $79 round trip to go to Jamaica. Don't do that, you all. Be wise. All right, your life is valuable. And this is a virus that none of us truly understand. But I have some new data for you. According to what I read earlier today with the CDC, and even experts are saying, according to CNN.com with Business Week, that, you know, we may have to end up just ordering our groceries online. So you'll have curbside choice and or delivery, because they really want to bring this in. And it's not about you having it. What they're finding out is that, according to experts with the CNN Business Week, they're finding out that the actual grocery store workers, those who are checking you out, those who are servicing you, they literally are catching the virus. And as a result, you are getting them sick because you're coming in uncovered and you're spreading, and it's just filthy at this point. So if you're walking around not washing your hands, wash your nasty hands. I said it. I said nasty. Wash your filthy hands. You were trained to wash your hands. Even as a child, before you came in from outside, you had to do what? Wash your hands. So you are wash your hands. But cover your faces, alrighty? Phase 2 says this. For states and regions with no evidence of a rebound and that satisfy the gating criteria a second time. So phase 2 means for states and regions with no evidence of a rebound. That means that the coronavirus has not entered back. Like everybody had it and then it disappeared. People that had it were cured, you know, some demises, but people were cured, and then it went away. If it rebounds, what they're trying to say is phase 2 is they're making certain that they pay attention to the actual regions and states with no evidence of rebound. Alrighty? So before we can do anything, you all, no rebounds. You've got to keep it forward. Alrighty? So if you're just tuning in, welcome in Instagram, welcome Facebook and YouTube Live. I'm Marco Brooks. Welcome to the show. As always, a show that doesn't just live, but we live, love, live life, and live for real. And tonight we are conversing, is it too soon for America to reopen? All right. Last week we discussed how are we living for real during this coronavirus pandemic. Some of you shared that you're baking, you're cleaning out your rooms, cleaning out closets, you're praying, you're rewriting. One of my best friends, actually, Tristan, he stated, hey, he's writing scripts, writing playwrights. Me personally, I'm teaching full-time Monday through Thursday, face-to-face. I'm working on my dissertation because, as you all know, next year, the goal is I'll be Dr. Brooks. So I'm staying steadfast with that. I'm writing my devotional, planning to be a full-time motivational speaker. Because even though I've been doing this for a while, you all, I'm ready to come to your churches, your places, your establishments, to see you face-to-face, to challenge you to live, love, live life, and live for real, and to support you as well. So I got off track with that. What's going on, Erica? Girl, long time no see. Michael, thank you so much for tuning. My cousin Linda. When I was younger, you all called her Lunda. I don't even know what Lunda is, but her name is Linda. Is this Kim Riley over here? My frat brother is on here. What's going on with you, Tuxedo? Good to see you. Mr. Savage. Maria Peters, my fabulous Sarah and sis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Instagram. Love you all so kindly. Thank you for tuning in. Alrighty. I think I saw my boss on here too. Thought I saw her earlier. Annette Barkers, if you're on here, I love you, girl. Thank you so much for tuning in. Alrighty. So let's continue. Deidre, what's going on? That's my cousin. Family is coming through tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. So, how have you been dealing with this coronavirus pandemic? Have you been washing your hands? And how many times a day do you wash your hands? Now, don't be like me at times. I'll wash my hands, you all. Let's talk about this, and then we're going to get back to the data. So we're talking about the phases tonight. Should America reopen? I personally think we need to sit down. Go to your prayer closet. Seek, fast, pray. Find out who you are, what's your purpose. And when you come out of this pandemic, you should not be the same individual. You should not be in the same position. You shouldn't be in the same space. If you come out of this still complaining about the same things that you were complaining about before you got in, then guess what? You did not take advantage of this particular lockdown that I feel God has blessed us with. As much as I hate being locked down, you all, look how I'm growing all this out. You know what I mean? I'm actually starting to like it. But I've never had this much hair on my face and all this other stuff. Even this part's clean. It's a little cloudy there. Don't y'all try to shade me too much. But it's coming back. It's coming back. But anyway, so during this pandemic, as you can see, I literally have just I let go. I stopped being so deep. I stopped worrying about, I got to hurry up. I got to do this. I got to do this. No, you don't. No, you do not. The only thing you have to do is wake up in the morning, seek God's face on what your purpose is, and continue to make a difference to the best of your ability. But you do not have to rush. You do not have to run back out into the world and rush. What is the rush, people? Sit down. Who are you without social media? Who are you without shopping? Who are you without traveling? If I can't travel, I thought that it would just end. I thought that it would end if I couldn't travel. But I actually love traveling. But at the end of the day, guess what? I'm good. I've been able to sit down. I've been able to redirect my thoughts so that when I sit in front of you and we converse, that we have some quality conversation, right? So anyway, let's move it back to the actual topic tonight. So, reopening America. When I feel, as I stated before, like I'm being closed in, I get in my car, you all. I drive around. I sightsee. I don't get out. I look at the beautiful monuments of you can't go near the monuments because they got to shut down like that. But anyway, I come as close to it and I just drive around the neighborhood and I just kind of learn the different parts of Washington, D.C. that I don't know. I've been in D.C. 16 years, born and raised in South Carolina, Beach Island, Jackson, Augusta, Georgia, you name it. But being here in D.C. now 16 years, I have truly learned, you all, what it means to just calm down. The city that I live in moves so fast. Everything's always going. And we very seldom get a chance to just calm down and really take it all in. So I feel like this time is what we should need, you know. So should America open up again? No, you should not. I live in D.C. My family's in South Carolina. And I miss my family. I miss them. Don't y'all start me because I'll cry like Oprah. I give you a good Oprah cry tonight. I miss my family. But I do realize that my traveling home could expose my family. They could expose me. It's just not worth it. So we're going to hang tight, right? We're going to hang tight and we're going to do this together. We're going to do this together until we get on the other side. Now, this is the thing. When we get on the other side of this, you have to promise me one thing, all righty? This is my 6th year doing this show. I started my show, self-made, for what it's worth, Chartwell Confessions and this show. I started my 2 shows like 6 years ago. And I just wanted to grow it. And I just wanted to allow God to use me in the space of where I was. Because I went to school for television, never got a chance to become that big time inspirational host or television this and that. But rather I became a teacher. And I prayed and asked God, Lord, make me a profound motivational speaker. And for the last 15 years now, I've been a motivational speaker to 100 and something students a day. So the Lord definitely answered my prayer. So now I'm a little more specific in this. I just want to do God's will. And I just want to see as many as I have to see and expose the truth of what living for real means to as many as I can, no matter how far I have to go. I've been all over this world. And I never get used to meeting people and hearing the beautiful part of how they're living their lives for real. I don't mean waking up in the morning and just paying bills and going to a job that you're not connected to. I mean, you live in purpose. When you wake up, you are excited. I'm going to work. Not even work. Where you going? I'm going to serve. I'm going to do this. You want to have that excitement about it, right? So before we unlock and open America up again, are you really ready? Are you really ready to walk back on your job as of Monday morning and give it your all? I'm talking full time. Because you know when you walk back on that job, they're ready for you immediately. Are you ready for that? And if you are ready for that, then we can open America up again. Now, after we open America up, this is my challenge to you because we talked about 2 phases so far, alrighty? And before we hit the 3rd phase, and I'm going to recap everything before we leave out. when we open back up, my challenge to you is this. What are you going to do differently? Who are you going to reach differently? Who are you going to help better? Who are you going to listen to better? Who are you going to respect better? Who are you going to forgive better? What are you going to do differently that you're going to bring joy and honor to just being a Christian, a believer, a person that just loves people and loves God and wants to represent the best you can? Without the love of God in your heart, you cannot live for real. There's no way possible. There is no way possible. I lived for many years hiding that small part because I never wanted my individual spiritual beliefs to, or religious beliefs as well, it was spiritual in this case, religious beliefs to affect someone else. But boldly, I just have to tell you, if you don't have God in your life, there is no way possible that you'll live for real. You will never discover your true potential if you do not have God in your life. From my experience, my platform, and my beliefs, alrighty? Never want to shun you from believing what you believe, but I would encourage you that if you truly want to be bigger and better after this pandemic, focus and use this time that you have right now to be better when it's over. See, many people are rushing saying, oh, open the country back up. Let's get back at it. But what are you going to do differently? Are you going back on the same job and the same routine, being the same disgruntled individual? What are you going to do differently? How have you improved during this pandemic? How have you improved? What is your plan? What is your goal? What have you received from God to tell you, hey, when I release the country back again, when I open the country back, this is what I want you to do. That's my challenge to you all. That's what I want you to be able to do. So when the country opens back up, you won't even notice it. Because why? You're so busy with what you have to do right now. So get busy. Get busy with you. So that when the country opens back up, you're like, oh, I thought it was already open. That's what I'm saying. When's the last time you actually spent time with you in silence? Other than being asleep. I mean awake, attentive. When's the last time you just sat and meditated and prayed and listened to your spirit, your heart, what you want? Not your friends, what people think, what your degrees, what your this and that and social status and this and that. Who are you? So who are you going to be when America opens back up again? That's my challenge tonight. I have no problem with us getting back at it. Now, I'll tell you personally, I won't personally be back out in crowds of 10 or more, 6 or more, 3 or more. Like I'm at 3. If it's 2 or more people, unless we're gathered together, and he's there in the midst and we're coming together on one accord of wisdom and positivity, we're not socializing right now. So I'm not doing the crowds. But when that time comes, I just want to be bigger and better. I want to help better. I want to understand better. I want to love better. I want to believe better. I want to get out of the rut of what people think and the time and when you should have this done and when you should have that. Time belongs to no man. It belongs to God. And we don't know our day or time or hour. You just don't know. Things can change just like that. One week we were in the grocery store socializing, going to the movies, parties, etc. And the next week we were all on lockdown, you all. And we're in this position to where there is absolutely no control per the human ability. So wake up, people. The question is not about when Trump's going to open the country. The question is when God releases us back to continuing our purpose. Who are you after this? What is your purpose after this? I'm not saying that you have to quit your job and become a whole nother career and all this other extreme things. I'm just saying whatever you plan to do with your life, you better get about the business and stop playing. You're not impressing anybody just like I'm not impressing you. Righty? I don't have 10 million people following me and likes and all this other foolishness that comes with it. I just want to make certain that whoever I'm talking to, speaking to, interacting with, that I can make a difference in your life, and not just your life, but I'm actually on track for my own life. If your life raggedy, then how are you going to guide us? Righty? And we constantly complaining about, and I'm saying we, because we're all in this together. I complain about, oh my God, I can't go to the gym. I can't travel. But at the end of the day, I wake up in the morning, and by the grace of God, we're all healthy. We are obedient. So things are working out. Just be patient. But why are you in this moment, this season? Go after your dreams. Go after what allows you to live for real. No matter how and what, no matter what you're going through right now. I just have to say this. I don't know who this is for. No matter what you're going through right now, just believe that when it's all said and done, people, things are going to be better. But you've got to do the work. You have to try. You have to put in the work. You have to try. Write the vision, make it plain. Alrighty? So, phase 3. So, phase 1, let me recap because we've been talking about it a lot. I'm sorry about all that. I didn't mean to go into the preaching mode, but I do miss preaching. I'm going to go back to that too. So, phase 1. In order for America to reopen again, according to WhiteHouse.gov and the CDC, in order for America to reopen again, they're saying phase 1 for states and regions that satisfy the gating criteria. Gating criteria in this case means the social distancing. If people are still vulnerable to the actual virus, then we're not there. That's phase 1. Alrighty. Phase 2, let's go to that. Phase 2 says, for states and regions with no evidence of a rebound and that satisfy the gating criteria a second time. So you've not only got to satisfy the gating criteria, you also have to have no evidence of a rebound. That means that there's no evidence of, oh, the coronavirus was here and she's out of here. No, she's back. No, can't be into that. Alrighty. And then finally, phase 3. As we use wisdom in the law of the land, as we open up America again, phase 3, they're saying for phase 3, in order for America to be opened up again, for states and regions with no evidence of a rebound and that satisfy the gating criteria a third time. So guess how many phases we have to go through in order for America to be reopened per states and regions? 3 phases. 3 phases. Alrighty. Now how that looks, according to the CDC and according to CNN and the WhiteHouse.gov, they will unveil that information as the week progresses and as the story develops. In this case, they'll share that with you. Excuse me for getting tongue-tied, but the developing part of that will be shared. I am constantly on CNN. I am constantly listening to I read the New Yorker. I read New York Times. I'm constantly on CDC, though. And, of course, CNN. Do not take your information from each and every individual. Okay, love Granny. But if Granny told twitches, she's saying, oh, it's the end. And I get that. But please make certain that you're listening to experts, ladies and gentlemen. In this case, no disrespect, but scientists. People who have studied to show themselves approved, that they need not be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth, in this case, their truth, their knowledge, their wisdom. To be knowledgeable is to study to gain understanding, and with understanding come wisdom, and with wisdom there is knowledge, with wisdom. Alrighty. So with our wisdom and knowledge of living love, living life, and living for real, I'm challenging you tonight that in the event that our leader reopens America, and in this case tonight we've been told by the CDC and the WhiteHouse.gov that there are 3 phases in order for America to open up. Per the state and region, there can be no traces of, in this case, vulnerable individuals. That means that it's repeating. It can't be any of that. And they have to clear. So you literally have, in this case, once again, for states and regions with no evidence of a rebound and that satisfy the gating criteria a third time. Gating criteria. That means mask, hands, covered. When you go in public, you're covering. You're not walking out and just looking like you don't care. Alrighty? It's not going to help anyone. So please help educate your family and friends. Alrighty? If you're the one in the grocery store in the parking lot that we see you walking around boldly on your cell phone, touching your face, eating French fries with gloves on. Come on now. What are you doing? I wish you was my relative because I'll check you just as sure as I see you. I have no shame. I'm an educator, so I have no fear. Alrighty? Let's be wise in this, people. In order to wrap this thing up, in order for us all to get back to living a normal life as it pertains to being able to go out and be sociable and, hey girl, how you doing? Hey, how you feeling, uncle this and aunt that and cousin this and cousin that and weddings and, unfortunately funerals, all of these things we want to be able to get back to normal to do. Alrighty? So my challenge to you is this. When we actually come through this, because there is another side, there is promise on the other side. When we come through this, my challenge to you is, Who are you going to be? What are you going to do differently? What are you going to achieve after this pandemic ends? Alrighty? How are you loving differently? Are you going to write a song? Are you going to sing? Are you going to write a play? Are you going to teach? Are you going to go back to school? Are you going to attend church? Are you going to write in your journal? Are you going to be inspired to open a business? Are you going to clean up your closet? Are you going to birth a whole new business concept that you've been afraid to do because you don't have the resources that you need? At the end of the day, when things happen, ladies and gents, we all know how to jump in and survive. Alrighty? Without your degree, without your 9 to 5, without your paycheck, without your stability of having things right here in front of you, without that, who are you? Where's your faith when you have no evidence of anything getting better? Do you just give up? Do you just quit? Do you just stay in the bed? Don't try. Don't write. You call people who don't care about you and you listen to negativity. But those that do care and inspire you, you close a negative ear. If you're around somebody right now during this lockdown that treats you wrong, disrespects you, does not pour into your ministry, your purpose, what you want to do, they don't pour into it. These are all signs that after this is over, you need to get out. Get out of it. Fight your way out. Fight your way out. Alrighty? So that's just my encouragement to you tonight. That as we end this pandemic, as America's reopened, in my opinion, I don't feel like we're there yet. And who am I to approve? I'm not saying that at all. Because I'm no one to approve anyone of any of the nature. But just from my own personal observation, I feel as though if you focus on what you want to get out of life, what you want to achieve, who you are, and what your purpose is, I truly believe that after this pandemic ends, you will be so involved in yourself and what you want to do and where you're going until you won't even care or notice if the country's open back up again. Now, realistically, we're human. We're ready to get back to work. We're ready to get back to being, normal because we're human beings. We fellowship. People just fellowship naturally. That's what humans do. We cohabitate because we fellowship. We like communing, conversing, etc., and just spending good time together. But when that's not possible, you've got to be able to dig deeper and tap into who you are and dig deep. The late, great Whitney Houston said it best. The greatest love of all is inside of you, and you've got to learn to achieve that. Alrighty? And it takes time, people. Just like this pandemic. It's something that none of us have control over, nor do we even pretty much know what's happening. But we're going to be patient. We're going to trust and believe that the same God that had us before this pandemic, he has us during the pandemic, and he's going to have us after the pandemic. We're just as pitiful. We don't acknowledge God, pay him no attention, but as soon as we have no control over things that we never had control of anyway, then we humble. Then we get it together. Then we kumbaya. And it's all necessary. But please let it stick, you all. I encourage you just like I know you want to encourage me. I struggle. I know you struggle. Let's just do it together. Alrighty? So tonight's show was strictly about just having a little quick chat. Is America ready to reopen? And even if America reopens, you run your own household. Alrighty? If you tell the children to stay in, then everybody's staying in. Pull out Uno cards and what are some games you used to play when you remember growing up with Granny and thundering and lightning would occur? You couldn't move. Now go back to those days. Remember when you grew up down south? Because I grew up in South Carolina. When it was storming, thundering and lightning, Granny said, God is busy. He's working. And you had to just sit still. And oh my God, it felt like a pandemic. I thought that was the coronavirus pandemic back then because they locked you down. It felt like just like being on the morning bench. Remember down south when you got saved and you received Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, when you were praying to receive of God and to know the Lord, you had to sit on what was called the morning bench. And on the morning bench, you had to just wait and you prayed and you prayed. I remember begging the Lord to come into my heart because I was so tired of waiting. That's how I felt recently. But we're all right now. Alrighty. So you're going to make it through this, right? Everybody's going to make it through this. Stick together. Love your family. Love one another. If you have family around you during this pandemic and you have someone that you can share and extend, and you're not living alone, but you got somebody that you can love and hug and talk to and just be around another human, it just feels so good to just be able to be around other humans. But in the meantime, I tonight am just honored because I've been able to touch you. Just want to hug you and love you, Instagram. Mwah. And I can touch and love you, Facebook. Mwah. So, and you too, YouTube. I love on YouTube. So I'm loving on everybody tonight, right? Because without this, what are we going to do? We need each other. We need each other. Alrighty? Take care of each other. Take care of each other until the next show. So, let me tell you what's going on this week. So next week, we're going to continue the dialogue. I'm not going to really chat about the coronavirus because we kind of wore that out. Next week is a whole nother topic. I'll reveal that later on during the week. When you all see my little posts on Instagram and you see my stuff on Facebook, stop being shady. Stop by. I don't even care about the like. Just give me some comments. Type your name. Say, hey, you're alive. You're thankful. You're something. We've got to start talking about this stuff, people, so that we can inspire other people to not just live, but to live, love, live life, and live for real. So, tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm going to do, tomorrow night, yoga. So, I'm going to do yoga, a little yoga. I might go live and bring you in. So, I may do a little yoga tomorrow night. Wednesday, I'm going to plant some flowers. So, I'm going to actually be out during the day. And I'm going to plant some flowers at my house. So, you can help me plant the flowers and give me tips. I need to do that. And then Thursday, I'm taping Chalkboard Confessions, my education show. So that'll be a whole other platform. Alrighty. But I really want to bring to you karaoke. So let me figure out I'm going to bring you some karaoke. And maybe like on a Saturday night, Saturday night preferably. Not Sunday, but Saturday night, we can do a little karaoke. If you got nothing to do, just some thoughts. Alrighty. So those types of ideas, spread with your family. Alright. And if you have nothing to do, join me, Marco Brooks, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm not going to promise you Saturday and Sunday because, I am in school and I need to do some schoolwork. So I got to make something that knock that out. But Tuesday, I'm going to do yoga. Wednesday, I am going to do my workout and plant some flowers. We're doing a little gardening. And then Thursday is Chalkboard Confessions. So if you have nothing to do, please stop by, see me. Alrighty. We're going to get back to interviews eventually, one-on-one. But right now, we're going to continue to have this dialogue because we're still on this we're practicing social distancing. Social distance, distancing in this case, and I just want to honor that, righty? So, if, though, I find it very pressing that it's someone that I just think you just need to talk to, then we're going to do a one-on-one, and we probably do a little FaceTime here. You all are so shy when it comes to being on FaceTime, and actually coming into the show. Do you love me that much that you just like to just hear me talk the whole hour? For real? You don't love me that much that you want to hear me flap this mouth for an entire hour. Now that's love, right? Girl, what you said? Right? Oh, okay, just checking. All right. So we're good, right? I love you all. Thank you for tuning in with me every single week as you have, and you always support. You always give me the most love in my little comments. I go back and I read every last one of them as best as I can. Instagram, YouTube. YouTube, you're a little busier, so I don't get to catch you as much, but I do appreciate each and every last one of you, all righty? Live for Real is a platform that really, really believes in promoting, challenging, and supporting people to not just live, but to live their best lives. And how do you live? You live, love, live life, and you live for real. Alrighty? As you live, you never should be the distraction for your life, but be the what? The motivation. Righty? So, again, tonight, as we recap things, is America ready to open up grocery stores and the clubs and the happy hours and the brunches. DC is a brunch city. So when they shut down church and brunch in DC, life ends just like it does in South Carolina with church and football. When they end it, it just feels like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But guess what you need to do? Get in that room, clean that nasty room, open that closet and reorganize, get rid of stuff, write, get inspired, pray, and pray again. And after you've prayed, put forth some action. Write down what you want to do. Write it out. Put it out in front of you. Look at it every single day. If you got somebody around you that got a problem with you writing on posters and writing, tell them to close their eyes. Because now is a very serious time, people. We've got to use the time that we have, alrighty? And we've got to use it wisely. So I'm encouraging each and every last one of you to please don't be discouraged. Don't allow anyone to discourage you during these perilous times, if I may. But find some way to be encouraged and be inspired, alrighty? We're all in this together. We're all struggling in this pandemic together. But we're not going to allow it to be a struggle, because we're going to be inspired. We're going to use the time that we have to create, using our hands, using our minds, our creativity. Come on, you got it in you. And what's in you should come out, righty? So push as much as you can. I encourage each and every last one of you. Once again, I'm Marco Brooks. Every single week, we come together. We chat about those things that are not just about just living, but how do we live, ladies and gents? How do we live? We live love, we live life, and we live for real. Now put it all together. We live love, live life, and live for real. I'm going to start that challenge to see how you all can do it. Remember to always be the motivation for someone's life. Don't be the distraction. Stop distracting people. Most importantly, stop distracting yourself. As we prepare for America to be reopened, what we want to do is encourage ourselves so that once it's reopened, you'll reopen with a whole nother perspective and walk in life. You're bigger, you're badder, and you're better. You're thinking differently, you're loving differently, and you're living differently. Alrighty? Can you do that for me? Alrighty? I'm Marco Brooks. You know the drill. Be the motivation for someone's life, not the distraction. Don't just live, but live, love, live life, and live for real. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Always, 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 always believe in yourself. Know that you matter. And don't let anyone tell you any differently. And if they tell you any differently, send them to me. I'll handle it. Alrighty? Most importantly, love yourself, because God loves you best. Alrighty? Until next time, Instagram. Thank you. Love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. Facebook, you have been loving me and supporting me, whether it's 2 people, 3 people, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. I appreciate you, and I want to give you my best, whether 1,000 are watching, 1,000,000, or just 2. Alrighty? So from my heart to yours, until next time, you all remember, you'll see me throughout the week. Tuesday yoga, Wednesday something, Thursday. You'll see me this week, alrighty? Thursday, I'm talking to the teenagers. We're going to talk to those teenagers on Chalkboard Confessions who are having to graduate virtually, online. That's a challenge, right? But that's another platform. Until next time, be the motivation, not the distraction for your own life and others. Always remember to live, love, live life, and live for real. Bye, you all. Be blessed, be favored, be positive. Good night.